Well, hi everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and it's Friday evening, so time for us to talk about coping with life. Very warm welcome to you all, and I do apologize for needing to cancel the lunchtime broadcast. As some of you may know, it was a big Zoom meeting for my sister's 80th birthday, and I'm certain you would want me to be there rather than doing a broadcast. So it was, I keep saying the boomer became a Zoomer today. Because I hadn't done a Zoom meeting with a lot of people in it before, so I survived, which is wonderful. So a very, very warm welcome to you all. If you are new to the broadcast, Dear Mama Sal is a group of people who get together 3 times a week normally and help each other cope with life. And Bernice, I see you there, and Isabel. Bernice, am I correct that you've got a birthday coming up this week? On the 4th, I think. Am I correct on that? Why do I think that? I'll find out in a minute when I actually go to have a look. But anyway, and it's a group of people who get together anyway 3 times a week and help each other cope with life. And on Friday lunchtime, we normally talk about coping with feelings because we understand that our feelings are our own. Nobody makes us feel anything. It is our feeling in reaction to what people have said or done. And on Friday evenings, we try and do some fun stuff in the kitchen. And then on Sunday afternoons, these are all Pacific time, by the way, what are we talking about? It's 3:30 on a Sunday afternoon. We talk about coping with stress because we all have it. And so, interesting. Bernice is saying, I'm not that excited because we've got a ton of issues, but I'm trying to cope. And I don't feel like talking it. No problem. No problem. You let us, you know where we are when you're ready to talk about it, honey. And also understand we can't help you if we don't know what's going on for you, all right? So if you want to do that privately, go right ahead. You know how to get hold of me, right? So send our love, and just remember, freaking out is not going to make anything better, right? By the way, if you hear a quiet droning noise in the background here, I've got a fan going on. You'll be pleased to know that the heat in my house has gone down a little bit. We're now, down to 86 in American, and that would be 30 degrees in my kitchen at the moment. For those of you who live anywhere but the US. It's amazing that I made a big discovery. A meat thermometer is a very good thing to have if you're trying to find out what the temperature is anywhere. It's like, why did I never think of that before? So I've got this really fancy meat thermometer, and it will tell me in Fahrenheit or in centigrade. And I'm going, why didn't I think of that before? So multitasking, the meat thermometer now. We've got a lot of fun stuff for you. I want to talk about how I make my bread now in one way. I want to talk about a cleaning tip, another cleaning tip, and do-it-yourself toilet bowl cleaner, if anybody's interested in that. I've got that on the menu today. So let's start with this. First of all, let's get on to I just wanted to give some thoughts and prayers. Can you believe those poor people in Florida? First of all, the building collapsed. We're a week in, and now a hurricane is coming. It's just like, and they're scared that the hurricane may bring down more of that building. So I don't know about you. It's like, can they not get just a little bit of a leeway here? So that is terrible. And for those of you who heard that, there was this little community in British Columbia that became the hottest temperature ever in Canada that was recorded, the town of Lytton, recorded that temperature, and the very next day caught fire, and nearly everything is destroyed in that town. Now, it was a town of very few people. It were only about 126 people. But even so, I guess that would be a village rather than a town, right? But even so, can you imagine that? They made the headlines the one day for being the hottest place recorded in Canada, and the next day it caught fire. And I heard an incredible story about one firefighter who refused to leave, and he stayed and saved some buildings, and I think they said he escaped in some way. As far as I know, he is still alive. But incredible story, I thought. Um, all right, so let's just get this. Kim, I know Kim's got her sleep study thing going on tomorrow. And for any of you who've done that sleep study thing, I'm not sure if Kimmy comes in, remind me to talk to her about that, because I want to warn her about her hair if she hasn't done one before. I wish somebody had warned me about the hair problem. Once you've done it once, you know the problem. But that's like, so we'll wait to see if she comes in. Yes, so Bernice's birthday on the 4th, and I think I'd be fair to say it's also America's birthday on the 4th, right? And also, we wish Erin's daddy, Mark, happy birthday in heaven on the 4th as well. So that's the thing. Did any of you watch the unveiling of the Princess Diana statue? And if so, what did you think about it? I know some of you are quite strong on those sort of things, so I just wondered if any of you had any feelings, good, bad, or indifferent, about the statue. It's amazing, isn't it? All these years later, I still am so invested in her as a human being, and her memory will live with me forever, I'm sure. So let me first of all start then on this thing that I wanted to show you. All right, so Jodi's saying about the statue, I think it could have been much better. In what way, Jodi? Would you like to have seen it better? I was amazed how old they made her look. Even if that is how they saw that she might have looked by now. But it's like, but if you're going to do that, why dress her in the clothes of the 70s? All right, so either if you're going to dress her in her 70s clothes, then make her look in her 20s, which she was. Or well, whenever it was, anyway. Yeah, I didn't think it did her justice either. She was a stunningly beautiful human being, and I thought she looked. I think somebody said she looked more like Theresa May than Princess Diana, and I had to agree with it. And it's so sad because it's like, but the rest of the statue, the idea of it, and the children with her, that from around the world, I totally got that. But to me, it was like she was stunningly beautiful, and I didn't think she looked stunningly beautiful in the statue. So I was a bit disappointed. She was 36 when she passed. Yes, Jodi, what I was grappling for, which was how old was she when what year did she come in onto the picture? What year did they get engaged? The reason I'm asking that is, I'm trying to work out when that fashion, the big belt, I seem to remember was in the 70s. The pencils. When did we do the flower child thing? That was the early 70s. So I would think that was the late 70s then. Anyway, I'm certain you'll find out for me. But she had, I think, when she was wearing that outfit, she already had the children. So it would have been a bit later, 80s maybe. These things are sent to tries. Okay, let me show you something. As you know, I'm constantly trying to find, I love to bake my own bread, as some of you know, and I know some of you viewers do the same. But I'm trying to find more creative ways of doing it so that I don't eat as much of it. There's nothing worse than baking nice bread because you want to eat it. Thank you, Jody. Jody's saying when she got engaged, it was 1981. Okay, so I would say that fashion then was sort of mid-80s. All right. Anyway, so what I've started to do is instead of baking a loaf, which I am inclined to eat too much of, I now cook these. Hi, Kim. Good to see you. And, and I make them with this. I've got some silicone molds for making waffles. So I just roll the dough into this shape. Get it? And so now I've got my piece of bread. Now, here's the thing. I get choices now. Do I want to put no sugar added jam in here? Or do I want to put cream cheese and a bit of dill and maybe a piece of ham on top? Which would you like to see? So you can get an idea of how it works. But you see, it makes just a perfect size piece of bread, and half of the bread is missing. So I confuse myself. All right, so I wish that I had Nutella or something to show you that, because I know some of you would love to see me have that. But do you want to see it savory or sweet? I've got both here, so, or not at all. Not at all, apparently. Hi there, Sandy. So you get the idea. Sandy, are you still baking bread? Yeah. So, all right. So, Sandy, I was just saying, I'm now starting to put the dough into waffle molds. So it comes out like this. And then what I wanted to show you is how easy it is from that point. I'll do the savory one. So here's some cream cheese. And what I'm going to do, and I'll bring it up to the camera in a second. Oh, why don't I do both? Because I'm talented. Yeah, I can do both. Okay, so that side is cream cheese. And then on the other side, I've got some no sugar added strawberry jam. That's so good. Now, with the cream cheese, I'm just going to, put some black pepper on it. Quite a bit. And there we have a perfect little snack. Can you see the cream cheese in there? Well, very simple, very easy to do. It actually, to my mind, because we're going to start having more people over soon, it's a really nice way to do some lunch bites, if people are coming over for a quick lunch or something. Very tasty. But now I've got a problem. Hi, Karen. Yes, I did wish America a happy birthday for the 4th. Thank you for reminding me, but I did just do it. So, it's the day after tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Sandy's saying, and now I need to finish it. Please do not get caught on Christmas in July. I said this last week. Any celebrations that are, store things Christmas in July, it's just they're trying to make up for the Christmas buying that they missed. Is the weather better now? Let me tell you, I just did mention it. It is now 30 Celsius, Sandy, which would be 86 in American. And let me see. Yeah, it's 108 in my window, 108 Fahrenheit, which is 43 just about in Celsius, which is way cool. At the worst time, it was 120 in my window. So, and for those of you who don't know, I don't have air conditioning, so it was quite something. So anyway, I'm going to leave that. I probably will snack on it. Hang on a second. But what I wanted to show you was that whenever I want a snack, I'm not going to be able to leave it alone, am I? I can have a savory one side. Huh? And I've also got a dessert one as well. So, there we go. Put that away. Now then, the next thing, this goes under the title of how come I lived this long and didn't know this? Now, I'm certain you probably all know about this, but in case anybody doesn't, when you have something tomato-based in Tupperware or whatever it is, this is lock and lock, and it leaves that tomato stain on it. I've always sort of opened up the container and put some soap in and, swished it around as much as I could and then cleaned it as best I could. And somewhere last week I was looking at something and they said the trick is to put in a piece of paper towel. Now, I didn't know that. I got to tell you, I didn't know that. I want to tell you, you put the paper towel in, a little bit of water and some soap, and then do the same thing that I was talking about before, just like this. And the difference is it comes out squeaky clean immediately. And the paper towel absorbs all of the tomato. Now, did anybody other than me not know about that? Or was I the only ignorant person? I just went, you mean you just literally go like that and it's done? It was just so quick. And I went, wow, I can't believe I didn't know that. And therefore, maybe, Sandy didn't know it either. Sandy, you are going to have the same reaction I did, I'm sure, which you're going to go, why didn't I know that 20 years ago? Just literally. So you got the idea, Sandy. Little bit of water, maybe a couple of tablespoons of water, a couple of drops of soap, piece of paper towel, and shake the heck out of it. Rinse it out, and it will be squeaky clean, and all the tomato will be on your paper towel. Amazingly quick. Sandy, the only one that didn't know. Okay, moving right along. I've got some quotes that I wanted to give you today. And that is, I've got some quotes from Rhonda Byrne. Rhonda Byrne. She I think she wrote The Secret, if I'm right. Anyway, they're all to do with the law of attraction. And I thought, we are already halfway through the year now. And I thought it was time for us to remember. How about this one? The life of your dreams, everything you would love to be or do or have has always been closer to you than you know. Because the power to do everything you want is inside you. But I'm pretty certain you all know, because you're longtime viewers, that's if you let go of the excuses and do what needs to be done. But making the excuses is so much easier, isn't it? And she also said, we become what we think about. Energy flows, let me get that right. Energy flows where your attention goes. So if you spend your life with miserable thinking, you're going to have a miserable life. But if, like Jody, you suddenly wake up one day and you say, something, I want to live, I want to get better, I want to do whatever it takes so that I can do that. And look at her, 2 years later, she is 10 days away from getting that operation. That I quite honestly, 2 years ago, she probably never thought she would get, or have it paid for, or that she would be able to lose enough weight to be able to do it, or that she would be able to find a way to do exercise without being able to walk. All these things. But the thing was, she gave up the excuses, found out what needed to be done, and then systematically started to do it. I am so proud of you, Jody. I really am. And for those of you who don't know, Jody is our admin. And, it's just an amazing journey that we have had the pleasure of, traveling with you. And, as you go into the final days, it's almost, so exciting for me to think, wow. Yes, and Jody's saying, I had no idea this would be my path. Well, Jody, it's been our pleasure to hold your hand through it, and we are so proud of you. I'm certain everybody here would feel the same way. It's a really, we know how hard you've worked at this. And you've spent an awful lot of time supporting an awful lot of people. And I am delighted that we have been able to be here for you. So, and I would say, as you go into the last 10 days before the operation, is there anything in particular that you need support with or for? Let us know, because again, we cannot give it to you if we don't know what it is that you need. And while we are talking about that, you all know that I don't believe in coincidences, and you all know that I believe in the law of attraction. If you remember, when I moved here to this house, I lay in bed at night and said, I know I need a new roof and I know I need a new bathroom, but I don't know how I'm going to pay for them. And then the fire happened and I ended up with a new roof and a new bathroom. And I, and it's just like, it wasn't quite the way I'd planned, but it happened. I'm thinking about Jeannie, with her problem that she had with the house inspector. And that delayed her going back home. But, she ended up getting a refund of the $5,000 that she was not expecting. So sometimes the path looks like it's a negative when actually it's a positive. All right, so Jody's saying, I'm just looking forward to it at this stage. When the nerves hit, I'll let you know. No, I would say not when, if. I have a feeling that you have this pretty well under control, Jody. So don't go when. Okay, let me see if I can read this one. It's pretty small here. Work hard in silence. Let your success be your noise. How many of you like that one? Work hard in silence. Let your success be your noise. I often think about that. And I wanted to talk a little bit just for a second about the law of attraction, because, I was saying that I lay in bed and thought I need a new roof and I need a new kitchen. Well, recently, something went horribly wrong with the DearMamaSal website. And the thing that went wrong is way out of my league, not within my pay grade. So I knew I was going to have to find somebody with a great deal of knowledge to be able to fix it, or, pay a lot of money for the web server to fix it. And it was incredible because, again, I just sat and thought about it and thought, I need somebody to help me with this because I can't fix it. And then for those of you who might go way back, and I'm not sure if anybody here goes that far back, do any of you remember Glenn? And if you do, suddenly out of nowhere, Glenn popped up onto my email. And I've always said, the reason I keep the programs the way that I do is that so people will know where to find us. And, it was amazing. I got the email and he said, I noticed that you've got a problem with your website. Do you need me to go in there and get it fixed for you? And I went, yes. Yes. But, it was amazing because Jody, we noticed it about a month ago. And I've had it sort of on the burner all the time going, how am I going to fix this? How am I going to fix it? And I was about to spend, a lot of money to try and get it fixed. And then, boom, law of attraction, here comes Glenn. And so I was very grateful and delighted that he was able to get most of it fixed anyway. Unfortunately, not all of it, but most of it. I've had to disconnect the shop because the shop was causing the problem, and to fix it I'm going to have to do a total upgrade, and I'm not sure if I've got the budget for that. How about this one? It is better to be a lion for a day than to be a sheep all your life. You agree? Better to be a lion for a day than to just be a sheep for a lifetime. I think that is so true. And the way you do that is to stay focused on what it is that you want. I think one of the biggest problems we have as human beings is we don't ask for what we want. And you know me, I need a new roof, please. And I need a new bathroom. And I don't know how to pay for it, God, but maybe you do. And literally I will say things like that all the time. I need to get that website fixed, and I have no idea what I'm going to do because I don't have the knowledge to be able to do it. I ask for things all the time, and it's amazing to me how often the answers come to me if I'm patient. And I think some of you know, I believe one of my gifts is my patience. In other words, I don't rush things. I believe everything happens in its own time. I know what I want, but I am prepared to wait for the bits of the puzzle to fall into place to work. So that's awesome. All right. Anybody want to save some money? Because that's the next topic for me. I'm looking at that jam. Yeah, right. You don't mind, do you? Okay. First question. How many of you listened to that broadcast we did some time ago where I said, stop buying your detergent in plastic, right? Save the environment, get your detergent in cardboard because cardboard is biodegradable. So here's what I wanted to discuss with you. This box of washing powder says it's good for 120 loads, either regular machine or HE. And I look at it and I go, not for me, it's not. So let me tell you what I do. I know you're going to just roll your eyes at me. Oh, let me see. What do they say here? Hold on a second. Officially, all right, so it's saying that it should be for a medium load about a quarter of a cup, one of these cups. Yeah? But you know as well as I do, you're very rarely going to put it in quarter of a cup. So here's what I do. Some time ago, I also challenged you to do one black load without any washing powder in it to see how much washing powder came out of your black load. Did any of you try that? Because that's an experiment I really encourage you to do. Quite honestly, you will find that there is enough detergent left in your clothes, even if you've got a good washer. There's enough detergent left in your clothes to do a black load without putting any stuff in it. But I make my own little pucks. All right. So I'm going to turn this 120 loads into about 240 by doing this. So anybody want to know how I do it? So it's a really simple way of thinking, which is, why do we put in what they tell us to? Because they want to sell as much product as possible. Does it mean we actually need that much? So here's what I do. Hang on. I keep this little bucket. Hi, Jeannie. I keep this little bucket on top of my dryer, and I put probably a quarter of a cup of powder in there, but my whites go in there. You know what I mean? Face towels, you know, a top that got dirty while I was gardening. So anything that's sort of likely to need a bit of attention, I put in there. Hi there, Diane. Good to see you. So, and I just let it soak until I do the next whitewash. So in the whites, I will use quarter of a cup. But what I do is when I'm ready to do a white load, I just pour all of this in. I hope that makes sense. But the whites have been soaking all the time. But for my blacks, depending on how, the dark colors, depending on how much I've got, if it's a pretty small load, I won't put any detergent in at all. Yes, Kemi's saying the same thing. I put very little detergent in my wash. Yeah, so think about that. You know, with a whitewash, you do need to use it, and you do need to get rid of the stains and things. But, you know, the black, I don't know why it is that the black seems to absorb the washing powder a lot more. So that's what I'm saying, that I make these, and it's really very, very simple. I'll just literally take a little bit of water. I didn't measure it. Hang on, people. I put more water in there than I meant to. Okay, so I put in, it's going to need more. There we go. So literally, That's all I do, is mix it up with a little bit of water like that. Now, there are two ways of doing the next step. I personally don't spend a lot of time. I literally will take a spoonful like that and turn it upside down. Okay, I'll show you in a sec. Get the idea? This is a little bit more loose than I would normally have it, but it's so hot in here anyway. It won't matter. It'll evaporate pretty fast. And by the way, I intentionally do different sized ones. You know, some are bigger than others, because then I get a choice of, you know, do I want to put a lot in or a little? Okay. So, and that is all I do. And now I let it just dry. By tomorrow, that will be solid. And it'll end up looking a bit like this. So those aren't meringues, no. The other thing is, I know some of you are going to totally roll your eyes at me, but guess what? This, with what's left in here, will become my dishwasher stuff for tonight. Dave, welcome, I think. Just stay polite, and as long as you're not a troll, you're more than welcome, Dave. If there's anything you need to talk about, let us know, but be careful of the language you use. All right, so, but can you see how simple that is? All right, and when you look at it, that's going to turn my 120 loads into 240 for sure. So that means that my washing powder is now half the price. Now then, another trick I wanted to tell you. How many of you are gardeners of any sort? I'm going to put this, just put this away. Sun get it. Because this is another hack that I wanted to show you. You know these lids that you get off, this was off a cream cheese thing, this was off, I don't know, maybe Parmesan cheese, but you know, these sort of lids, first of all, they're really useful in summer to use as coasters. You know, if you've got a glass with a lot of ice in it, you put it on one of these. Then the condensation will drip onto here, not onto your tabletop. The other thing I do with them is I cut them up. I cut them up into little strips like this, and then I use them to identify my seedlings. Clever? So, and that way, it's, you know, recycle, reuse, and don't waste. Ah, Sandy's going, coasters. Why didn't I think of that? Because otherwise I would have no value to you whatsoever, Sandy. And you know I like to be of value. And I have, you know, the bigger ones, like I save, you know, if you get the Chinese or something and they give you one of these are very useful. You can actually put one glass in one mug of coffee, you know. So anyway, but cut them up and use them as plant identifiers. Oh, the reason I had this here, yes, good idea. Kimmy's saying I use them to put under my plants. Very good use for them. I was going to say, you know, I did the washing powder stuff. If you really like beautifully shaped ones, then use these. All right. Right. So, you know, just use a small ice cube tray and put the washing powder in here, and you have very nice symmetrical pucks. I know some of you need to have it look pretty. Me, I just need it to do the job. So, Jeannie, just while you're here, welcome. How are you feeling? Because we know you had the kidney stone thing done. And then also, when is the next inspection of your house? All right, so Bernice is saying, funny, I'm decanting my washing powder in my empty smell good stuff containers as containers, so no more powder everywhere. Good. You know, it's like, get smart. You know, it's amazing what you can do. Hang on, I'm gonna have another little snack now. Yep, Bernice. I really shouldn't eat here. It's so good. Bernice is saying I use half what they say and it still works great. Yep. So, and I would say if you make small ones, I have used mine in my dishwasher. Just the small ones, you know, you don't need very much. Okay. All right, Jeannie got back to me. Wow. She said, I've been passing kidney stones the past 3 days. I thought they zapped them. She said, in lots of pain, calming down finally. All right, and the next inspection will be on the 8th with somebody from a different town. Well, we wish you all the best in that. But, you know, isn't it funny, Jeannie, how although that isn't what you planned and not what you wanted, that it looks like you're going to get a better inspection and you're going to get your $5,000 back. You see, sometimes you have to take a step backwards to go forwards. And, you know, I kept smiling to myself and saying, hey, I'm certain she doesn't mind getting that money back. Great. Now then, for this next one, I need you to be a little careful. Let's see. You know, do not throw away these sort of bottles. All right. You know, if you have a power wash bottle, don't throw it away because you can reuse it. If you have the Mr. Clean Freak spritzer one bottle, same sort of bottle, don't throw it away. You can refill it. How? You unscrew it and you put more Mr. Clean in there, and awesome. So you can buy a big container of Mr. Clean and then use the spritzer bottle. All right, so now you've all got that, right? Hold on to these things, are like gold dust. They won't last forever, but you probably only have to buy one every 3 or 4 times as opposed to every time. Right. The other thing is, if ever you see dishwashing liquid on sale, Palmolive every now and then has a 3-pack. Whenever they do, I buy it. So do that. And the other thing is, buy Dawn. Yeah, I'm a great believer in November. The reason why Dawn works so well, I think, is because look how thick it is versus, can you see this is quite liquid? and the Dawn is not, right? It's really concentrated. It just doesn't flow the same way at all. All right, now then, let me just give you a warning here. Where am I? I think I made a note of this somewhere. Okay, let me find it because I want to make sure that you hear about this. Hold on 1 second, please. There are certain things. No, it's not there. Okay. Right, now then, how many of you make your own Windex or anything like that? Right? So the reason I'm asking that is because I'm pretty sure that a lot of you already make your own household cleaner with vinegar. And if you do, I just want to make sure you all understand there are certain things you should not mix with vinegar. And I want to make sure that you understand that. All right? You should never mix vinegar with hydrogen peroxide. You should never mix vinegar with bleach. And do not mix vinegar with baking soda. All right? So that's the big heads up here. When you're making your own stuff, try and find a recipe that works for you. I personally never throw away this sort of bottle either. They're really easy to open up. Just get a knife and you will see here, all right, you just literally take off that little end piece there. Okay? Right, and it pops right out. Bernice, you're asking me. All right, Bernice, literally type into Google things not to mix with vinegar, and it will tell you why. All right, that's why I wanted to give you the heads up. Or I think you should not mix it in an enclosed thing. In other words, probably it's okay in a washing machine. I don't know about that. You'd have to check on that. But not into a bottle that is then closed, because that stuff expands and you can have it explode, is my feeling. Okay, so here we go. Do they call this a duck bottle? Because it looks like a duck. All right, so top comes off really easily. And so all I'm going to do is mix some of my cheaper, because I bought it on sale. You see how liquid that is? Just want to show you. But it's thick enough. So there we've got a nice lot of soap. I want to mix it with borax. Okay, which is what I do. Some of you will want to mix it with vinegar. Okay, and then okay, mixes up pretty easily. Didn't all go foamy on me. Okay. Now for this, I might need 2 hands, so bear with me. I'm just going to take my funnel and stick it in the end here. Patience is a virtue. Come on. Jody, while I'm doing that, can you find out what is the going rate for a bottle of Scrubbing Bubbles toilet bowl cleaner in the States, just so we've got a benchmark here? And I think you all understand that the magic part of this is the bottle, right? Really, that is the important part of it, is don't throw away the bottle. Keep it and refill it. Then all you do is put the dudette back in. And now you have got yourself, for next to nothing, quite honestly. I didn't use, this is probably about 3/4 full. I used less than half of this. And you know I'm going to put that into the dishwasher and use that to clean my dishes as well. So minimal cost, absolutely minimal cost. So I'm hoping that you can see with a little bit of, be careful of what you mix with what, right? That's the only thing. Before I start playing with these things, I always double check, what can I put vinegar in? And that, quite honestly, I'm inclined to keep vinegar on its own. So for about $4.20, let's call it that. And I think the whole of this bottle cost me about $2, if that, because I bought a 3-pack. So do you understand that I can make an awful lot of cleaner with it? However, for my dishes, when I do my refill for this, I put Dawn in, and it's much more liquid. I add water to it because this is way too thick, which means it lasts a lot longer. I put Dawn in and a little bit of vinegar. I lie. I put Dawn in and baking soda, no vinegar. If I use it for my shower, I put Dawn in and add vinegar. Right? So I just literally use the same stuff, but for all sorts of different things. All right, so Bernice is saying, be careful of using dishwashing soap in the dishwasher. It will make the water come out. You mean it'll bubble up, right? Obviously, I will put some water with that. I worded that badly. I will mix all of that up with some water, so it's pretty diluted, and then just, during the week, just use it. All right. Jody's saying the Scrubbing Bubbles tablets are $11. For the toilet bowl, the spray is $4.17. Yes. So what I'm saying is that this sort of thing would be around the $4 mark, $4.20. And what I'm saying is you can make it for $1, less than $1. So why not? Anybody going, I could do that? And borax is like very cheap as well. So the more we end up with inflation going insane on us, the more we will need to think about, what things can I make for myself? All right, Bernice is saying, okay, I made the mistake of using Dawn in my dishwasher once and water spilled. I can understand that foam spilled, but why would it make it leak? That doesn't quite make sense to me. I believe you that it did. I'm just logically trying to think why it would do that. Pressure, maybe? Too many suds? Denise, as far as I know, if you ever want to use Dawn in your dishwasher, only use 3 drops. I don't know how much you put in. I don't know if you went like this, but 3 drops, and then fill up the rest of the area with baking soda. Yeah. And this is the whole thing, it's just like, the dishwashing soap is pretty concentrated and you don't need that much. The same thing is just be aware of what you're doing and use small amounts. It's a bit like the washing machine. Your dishwasher does not need very much soap. 3 drops of soap is enough, all right, if you're going to use it. Most people will put in a teaspoon or a tablespoon of it. It's way too much. And you end up with all sorts of mess on your plates and glasses as well. So a little bit less is more. How many of you make your own rinse aid for your dishwashers? Those of you who are lucky enough to have them. I've made my own for ages. So just think about that. All right, let's go back to some more quotes to see how we do. Yeah, Jody's confirming it. 3 drops of Dawn for a dishwasher. That's all you need. Don't put in a teaspoon. 3 drops is not very much, people. I don't mean long drops. I mean literally. Hang on a second. I mean, 3 drops is. It came up faster than it should, but you understand that's probably enough. I've got jam on me now. I'm a klutz, right? So we'll put some Dawn on that immediately. There we go. Hardly know it happened. All right. I make such a mess when I do these things. All right, so which ones of those did you find most helpful? And if you haven't tried, put the paper towel into the Tupperware. Please do, and go, why didn't I find out about this before? It's a really good trick. All right, let's go back. How about this one? How many of you agree with this? Your life only gets better when you get better. How many of you already noticed that? It doesn't get better by sitting on your butt doing nothing. It gets better when you do more of the right things, right? And so what I love about these sort of quotes is, here we are, halfway through the year. How many of you have finished your Christmas shopping? You go, what? I'm about halfway through now. What I'm doing, this is called Be Prepared, Not Scared of Christmas, but what I'm doing is every week I am buying one more thing towards Christmas. And I say every week, but every time I do an Amazon order, I ask myself, what one step can I take towards Christmas? And then I am amazed. I'm bought all sorts of little things because I'm going to make little containers for people. And I've been keeping boxes that are interesting shape boxes, and I'm going to paint them rather than buy wrapping paper, because I have rather a lot of paint left over from them painting my house. Yeah, Jeannie, we started with that. Thank you for wishing everybody happy 4th of July. It's also Bernice's birthday on the 4th. But we did talk about that earlier. All right. Good. Bernice is saying, I started collecting Christmas cards and other holiday cards for next year. Good idea. I have started learning how to do things. Oh, I managed to get my silhouette machine working, and that was really exciting. Oh, I want to show you what I've been playing with. Hold on a sec. Perhaps I can ask you that question. How many of you enjoy getting a lot of little things for Christmas, or do you prefer getting one big thing? Sandy? I don't know if you can see this. Isn't that cute? And what I'm going to do, once I've got this perfected, is actually put them inside cards. You know, I'm going to put some silver string on it, but yeah. So I just thought that was so cute. So that is one of them. And obviously I'm going to try and cut it out of some silver as well. That's one. You know how difficult it was, right? I don't have a cricket. I have a silhouette. When I thought about getting a die cutter, I asked somebody who was really good at it. And I said, what should I get? And he said, Sal, if you want one to last you the rest of your life, get the silhouette. Now, this one was a little bit more complicated, but basically it's the same idea. I haven't got it all put together, but the inside of it says Merry Christmas. Okay. Hang on a second. Let me see if I've got enough of it put together. Oops. So you get the idea? I thought that was so unusual. But I want to tell you, very finicky work. What do you think? Cute? But you know, you can put it flat inside a card. Yeah, that's what I thought, Jeannie. That sort of, oh, and there's a little bit more to it. Hang on, there's a couple more snowflakes to it. So, but I'm just doing test runs at the moment. Bernice is saying I could use cardstock. Yes, but I wouldn't use cardstock until I know what I'm doing. At the moment, I'm just doing the test runs to see how does it work and can I do it? Because to me, the easy thing is once you know what you're doing, it's easy. So I don't do my test runs on the best paper available. I will now graduate up to cardstock, and then I will even go up to glitter stock. Got it? And then I might do one layer of glitter and one layer of, whatever. Anyway, so I thought that was fun to do. The other thing I got some, what did I order up? Some cedar discs that you can hang on your coat hangers. And so what I'm going to do is put extra cedar oil on them, and then give a couple to my friends, because we all need to keep the moths away. What else did I get? Anyway, I'm sort of collecting lots of little things to give to people. that gives me great joy. I'm thinking, I haven't worked out yet, but I'm thinking about doing some rosemary infused olive oil as a gift for the people I know that are cooks, because I've got the rosemary growing in the garden, and I'll just go to the dollar store and get some of those locking bottles, and then get some olive oil and let it infuse for a while. I still haven't found the vanilla. You know, somewhere in my life, I've still got to unpack the box of vanilla. All right, interesting. Bernice is saying, hubby and I have figured out we can get tons of brand new free boxes from USPS, and we will use those for moving to keep his Hot Wheels. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know what else I found? Do any of you have couches or seats where it's beginning to sag a bit? I don't know if I told you about this hack. But you know, one of my couches, is beginning to be too low for me, and I thought I really need to put some support in there. So what I found was a big piece of 5/8 of an inch chipboard, and I put that underneath it, which is fine, but it's pretty hard, but it makes it easy for me to stand up again. But what I did is on my love seat, I thought, what if I put Amazon boxes underneath the cushions? Works really well, people. It's called recycle those Amazon boxes. And in fact, I think what we should start doing is to find new uses for Amazon boxes. Can you imagine how many of them are thrown away every single day? I would, to me, it's like, it must be so many. Yeah. Bernice is saying shredder and boxes you get from the mail make great fillers for fragile protectors. Yes, I keep a lot of the stuffing that comes in my parcels so that I can reuse it for that very reason. Well done. Jeannie's saying, had a very busy day, have to go to bed, just popping in tonight. Well, we're delighted to see you're okay, and we look forward to hearing when that inspection happens. Let us know, right? And Kimmy's saying the same thing. That's what I use to send stuff, free boxes from USPS. So what do? Just walk into the USPS store and ask for free boxes? Yeah, I don't like using those peanut things either. I find them very messy. I use a lot more, I keep the, what do you call it, air-filled plastic that Amazon sends. Anything that's bubble wrap type stuff, I keep that. And I've got a big bag of it in my shed. So, yeah. I mean, there's so much we can reuse if you want to. By the way, I'm keeping a lot of the craft paper. Sometimes Amazon will just take a whole roll of craft paper and just scrunch it up and throw it in the box. I keep that. I literally flatten that out and fold it up. And my potatoes are growing beautifully. And I'm going to be wrapping my potatoes in craft paper for the winter, if I get any. I should know pretty soon. I think the first batch, every month I'm planting another lot of potatoes. Oh, that's awesome. So Bernice is saying that her husband created an account with USPS and they can get shipping, and they can get shipped with tape and stuff for free. That's wonderful. All right, so I'm pretty certain that people are looking for the business, and that's wonderful that you can get the boxes for free. I would also say I made sure before I got rid of all mine, I did two things. Number one is I went around to all my neighbors and said, are you or anybody you know likely to be moving? If so, I've got boxes and I'd like to give them away before I send them away. And I did find one of my neighbors was moving, so I took her all the boxes she could use. And then I called the restoration people and told them to come and get their boxes, because they are their boxes. And I'm pretty certain that they won't use them for new plants, but they may use them internally because they're all broken down and they were excellent. Adam, how are you? For those of you who don't know, this is Adam. Keiko is Adam from Ohio. Dayton, I think. Anyway, and he is, I will always think of him dancing the Nutcracker. So, his memory is emblazoned in my brain. And I know you had a 21st birthday this year. Am I correct on that one? I don't know if you saw, but I put up happy birthday wishes to you. And Adam, just so that you know, I heard from Glenn this week. It's amazing that people are coming up from way back when, but I actually heard from Glenn for the first time in a couple of years, I think. So awesome. That's a small world. And I really do so enjoy it when you come in. Is there a particular reason you came in or just that you were cruising by? I'm not too kind. I was sorry if you didn't see it, but I did put it happy 21st up for you. Because, I might not see you, but it doesn't mean that you're not on my wish list, if you know what I mean. To me, it's like it's really important. You're 9 years older than that now? Are you serious? So you were 21 when I first met you then? Okay, Jody will make an amendment. Time sure flies. Yes, I know, because I remember Glenn saying we'll be celebrating 10 years of DearMamaSal soon. And I went, what? And he's right, next year. Yeah, but you know something, Adam? The main thing is I think of you. And that's all I wanted you really to know. It's like you're still on my brain. Okay, well, I'm delighted that you popped in. And I just want to tell you, I heard from Roseanne not so long ago. I heard from Angela not so long ago. And I heard from Glenn, obviously, and somebody else from way back when contacted me recently. So to let you know that people are still out there, and they do pop in occasionally to say hello, and I that pleases me no end. All right, so let me get on with the broadcast. Thanks for popping in, Adam. I appreciate it. You made my day. Okay, so now then. Here's the next thing. If you want to save money, seriously, we've touched on this before, but now it's getting more critical. Seriously think about what you're paying for good fruit. And I'm thinking things like strawberries and raspberries, peaches and stuff like that. The reason I'm saying that is I want you to get brutally honest with yourself. And when you buy strawberries, how many of them do you end up throwing away? Is it a couple out of a pack? Is it more than that? Think about that. And then ask yourself, what is the price of frozen strawberries? Now, I don't say that you shouldn't eat fresh strawberries in the summer. I do. I think we all need to eat fresh strawberries in the summer. But what I want you to be aware of is that if you're using strawberries for smoothies or raspberries for smoothies or peaches for smoothies, consider getting the frozen ones because, number one, they're frozen to start with, make better smoothies that way. But secondly, you don't have any wastage, right? They're not going to go bad in the fridge. You're going to use them up as you need them. And I really do recommend a couple of slices of peaches in your smoothies. They taste so good. But I was amazed that really the price is, you're going to save money by buying the frozen. Did anybody have any interesting unboxings this week? Yeah, and Kimmy's saying that she, as I said, that she uses packing that stores throw out. Yes, if you want to go looking for packing, there's lots to be found. The other thing, Kimmy, and I'd like to recommend it with the sort of stuff that you do, which is it's a really good idea to be friendly with somebody who sells shoes, because shoe boxes are really great packing boxes, especially for anybody thinking about Christmas now. Go to their local shoe store and ask them how many shoe boxes they're about to throw out, and could you take a dozen? And paint them, do whatever. But they make great mailing boxes. But let's keep giving people these tips, Kimmy. I appreciate the input because it's really good. How is the business going, Kim? And am I right that you buy things online and then resell it? That is your business, right? I saw a gizmo this week that I couldn't live without, and I don't know how long it's going to take to get to me. But I can't wait to show you. Oh, Jody's saying, I unboxed a small battery-operated fan. I actually did order up that neck fan. It hasn't arrived yet. Let me just check outside. And it should be here by Sunday. Hopefully. Under the category of problem solving, I just got notification that the whole of my community will be without water on Monday for 24 hours. So let's use our minds together. If you heard that you were going to be without water for 24 hours, what would you do? Let's see whether I've covered all my bases. I think I got it handled, but just in case. Fill up your bathtub to flush the toilet, right? Very good idea. I won't do that until Sunday, but remind me during the broadcast on Sunday to do that. Yeah, it's on my list of things to do, is to fill up the bathtub. And also any buckets that I've got. And my outside rainwater tub, I'm going to fill that up on probably Saturday. I'm going to fill it right up because we're not expecting rain, so that I will also be able to water my flowers. Good. Anything else? What else would you do? Yeah, any buckets and bottles. Good. Bernice is saying she'd fill all her pitchers, all containers, kettles, and buckets. Pots, yes. The truth is, do you know how much water you use, for example, flushing the toilet every day? All right. So for me, it's like I saw a little note somewhere in somebody's house where they had a septic tank, and it said, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. In other words, don't go flushing all the time. If there's going to be a water shortage, don't flush that often, only when you have to. And so think about that, because it's smart. And I've always remembered that. So I will use the bathroom next to the tub if I need to do anything serious and need to flush. Other than that, I probably will only flush once or twice during the day. And really, doesn't take that much water. Yeah, the bathtub is definitely high on the list. I also have put jugs of water into my freezer so that I will have plenty of drinking water. And I have my filter that has about 2 liters of water in it, way up. I'm already starting to store water in my fridge. Yes, and that's right, Sandy. It's about just make sure you've got enough to be able to wash something or cook. And the other thing is this: do I have to wash up? Not necessarily. I'm a camper, so what do? Maybe I throw everything into the bathtub and use that dirty water to flush my toilet. But and then once the water's back on Tuesday, we do a really good clean of the bathtub. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, I could just put everything in there to soak rather than waste a lot of water, or use paper plates or takeout comes to mind. But it's just like, what else haven't I thought of? I've worked out how to water my plants. That's good. I've worked out how to flush the toilets. That's good. I've worked out how to get fresh drinking water. That's good. Anything else I haven't thought about? Oh, that's clever. Bernice is saying, put cling wrap onto the plate before you put your food on it. That is no washing up required. That is clever. You know something? I could get drinking water from the stores, but that's heavy to carry for me on my own. And I would prefer not to. I mean, I could have bottled water delivered, but why? I've got a well here and I've still got 48 hours to go. I've got plenty of availability. I just need to, what I've ordered up, and that should be arriving on Sunday as well, is a 5-liter camping type jug. You know what I mean? That you can put fresh water in. So I'll have 5 liters of fresh water in one of those plastic containers. All right, Kimmy, I'm not understanding that. All right, try it a third time, see if I understand it. Oh, that's a good point. How am I going to wash and have a bath? Well, I'm a camper, and I know that I can shower with 1 bucket of water. But thank you for reminding me. It's got to go on my list. Hang on. Okay, shower, toilets. What did we say the other one was? Shower, toilets, and fresh. All right, I can go 24 hours without doing a wash. That's fine. Wet wipes. Ah. Is that what you're trying to say, Kimmy? Wet wipes. Use wet wipes to wash. I can do a total shower with a bucket of water, including washing my hair. I've done it many times when I was camping. I might not be able to wash down the shower as well as I normally would, but do I care for one day? No. So, and the point that I'm trying to make here is that, like all things in life, I can either make it fun or I can make it miserable. And, it's amazing how many people going, why are they doing it? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, they need to do it. So let's just deal with it, people. How about this one? When you want to succeed as badly as you want to breathe, you will be successful. Dale Carnegie said, our thought makes us what we are. How many of you know that you're as happy as you choose to be? All right. Happiness has nothing to do with money and your ability to pay bills or your health or anything else. Happiness is a state of mind. And I have seen some of the poorest people in the world and that are more happy than millionaires that I've known. I have seen some people like Aaron who have got more reason to complain about their bodies and yet such an incredible attitude. Or, it's just like, happiness is something that, we need to be aware of. It's like our feelings, right? Our feelings are our problem, nobody else's. Nobody gave us these feelings. If I had a kid's pool, I would fill it up. It's a good one, Kimmy. Thank you for thinking of that. And how many of you know I love this quote? It says, "It's not over until you win." Again, I will say, I think a lot of you know that I'm a very patient person in a lot of ways. I'm impatient in a lot of ways, but I try not to beat up on myself too much. I know that life will unfold as it should, and sometimes I just need to let it happen. It'll all fall into place when it's meant to. And for all of you that have watched Jeannie go through what she's gone through in the last year, or Jody with what she's been through, Kimmy, what you've been, all of us, when you think about it, if you think of all the stories we've discussed in the last year, how many of us just needed to be patient enough for it to work its way through and that we could get on with our lives? And I want to tell you that, I've spent a whole week now going into my craft room and sitting down every day for probably, a quarter of the day to half a day for the first time since I got back. And what I notice is every day I tidy up a little bit more. And I'm nearly at the stage where I have got it under control. There's, I got a bit more work to do, but, it's just by going there every day and just sitting there and, giving myself time to play, just sit there, Sal, and do something for the fun of it, not because you have to. Do something for the fun of it. And then I realized that I'm going to have all winter to finish unpacking. It's just like, I'm not in a rush to finish unpacking. I can do that in the winter. But right now I want to play in my garden. And it was so cute. My neighbors had their first crop of potatoes and they bought me 10. 10 new potatoes. How many of you love new potatoes? And it was just like, oh. And what I did was I divided up 4 here, and the other 2 I kept. They're here. Why? I'm waiting for them to start sprouting and I'm going to plant them. They're called fingerling type. They're beautiful little things. So I reckon I can have 4 little ones one day, 4 little ones the second day, and then the 2 bigger ones, I said I'm going to hold on to those until they sprout, and then I'm going to plant them. What I'm trying to find out is if I plant every month, will I be self-sufficient? And I think that I probably will be. I'm trying to think how many lots of potatoes I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've got 6 or 7 lots of potatoes growing now. But every couple of weeks I plant another one. We're getting there. For those of you self-sufficient for the winter, I thought I'd let you know, I found out that if you take romaine lettuce, and all you need to do is put the water just at the very bottom of it. I don't know if you can see that. I can't get it closer because of the cupboard. Yes, you can see. You see the roots? Those roots grew in 2 weeks. And I didn't do anything but just put the water touching the very bottom of it. And now as it's drinking the water, right, they're coming. So, and look how nice and green and healthy it looks. And then this one is a butter lettuce that, of course, I'm getting ready. As you know, I'm trying to make sure that I've got everything working well, ready for the winter. So Really? Kimmy's saying, when I was younger, I worked in the potato sheds and fields. Wow. Yeah, I think fingerling potatoes are, a food group all on their own with real butter. And Jody, I'm looking at them going, I know that's solid starch, but 4 little ones are not going to kill me. um, it's all about the same thing when I'm going, this is really fun to eat. And it's no sugar added jam. And it's like a slice of bread. Okay. Oh, and I got really brave this week. I made an appointment with my doctor. And I'm going to be seeing my doctor on Tuesday. I decided after a year of lockdown, I want to go and have some moles checked out and some other things checked out that are happening. And I'm going, I've had both my shots. I think I'm safer now than I probably have been ever, since this pandemic started. So it's time for me to go now before the next wave hits. Are any of you feeling like that as well? I find it interesting that my sister, during the Zoom meeting that we had today, said, if the pandemic allows, how about we all meet up next year instead? And I was wondering, what variant will we be up to by this time next year? Will it be variant S for Sal? Or, if we're on D already, it'll be interesting to see how many different variants we get. I think we will continue to get them for quite a while. I also heard a story. One of my neighbors had her second shot, and they changed the shot she had. The first one she had was a Pfizer, and they gave her Moderna for the second one, and boy, was she sick. Yes, Kimmy, I mentioned that at the beginning, that you're having the sleep study. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you, Kimmy. Have you had one before? Have you done the sleep study before? If you haven't, there's something I need to warn you about. Because nobody warned me, and I wish they had. Okay, so let me just find out if she's had it before. What a feeling she might have done. Okay, so you have had it before. All right, so I don't need to warn you about the hair thing. That was it's like, why didn't anybody warn me? In case any of you go for a sleep study, what I didn't realize is they're going to put all these little goodies all through your scalp, with that gunge that they put on. And then in the morning, they're going to rip all that off, but they leave all the gunk in your hair. And your hair looks like, the wreck of the Hesperus. I mean, your hair ends up all like this, and it's got globs of gunk in it. And they wouldn't let me shower. I had to go home to shower, and I'm going, I've got to go out in public like this? Oh, interesting. Sandy's saying, sadly, they're doing the same thing. I answered, this is swapping the second shot around, right? Sandy's saying, I canceled mine for today and moved it off in the hopes that they will have more stock and stop mixing. Not happy about it. Right. I want to tell you, I wouldn't have been happy. If they tried to give me anything other than Pfizer, I would have walked away. I agree with you. It's just like, but I do want to just warn you that this neighbor of mine, that they gave her Pfizer first and then the Moderna, whatever it's called, and she's been sick for 2 days, badly sick. Yeah. So be aware that it's happening. Okay, Let me see what else I got for you here. One of the things that I find about being who we are is that we are a group of people who understand that life changes on a dime, right? That we have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. And I think we have seen all too often that, 1 minute we think everything's just going along nicely, and the next minute, wow, something else hits. But, when you think about it, all these things that hit us are all learning experiences for us. All right, so Kimmy's saying, I have to drive 50 miles back home after the sleep study. That isn't a problem, actually, Kimmy. I don't think you'll find that a problem. On your own? I presume so, that you're saying I have to drive. 50 miles, it's an hour, right? I didn't, it isn't a tiring thing, or you know what I mean? You don't feel bad after it, because it's not invasive in any way, just messy for the hair. So best of luck anyway. Please let us know when you get home again, right, Kim? So that we can know you're okay. And I'm glad you're doing it in the summer, not in the winter. Yeah, that's Jodie saying the same thing. There are no restrictions on driving after a sleep study. The sleep study just is, checking your sleep. And at what time, I don't know about you guys, but they booted me out at 6 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it was some unearthly hour. I'm not normally awake at this time, never mind trying to drive at this time. So I went down, and with my hair sort of, sitting like this, I had a coffee or two before I even just got in the car. Yeah, and I'm glad that you're going to be doing it in the summer. How about this quote? Do what is easy and your life will be hard. Do what is hard and your life will become easy. That's a great quote, isn't it? Oh, interesting. Sandy's saying they're forcing it. They're trying to save the Pfizer for the younger people because it's the only one approved for them. But at the same time, they're saying both shots are the same. I'm not buying it. They're not the same. No. Well, Kimmy, you're not a stupid person. If you're tired, don't drive, all right? Do what I did. I stayed at the hotel. I stayed at the hospital for an extra hour and drank a couple of really good coffees before I even tried to drive home to make sure that I was awake. You know what I mean? So make sure you take some petty cash with you so you can do that. I did not sleep well at all when I did my sleep study. I think I only slept for about 3 hours. And they were complaining they very nearly didn't have enough data to be able to assess me. But, you know me, I don't go to sleep until about 2 o'clock in the morning. And they wanted me to be asleep at 9 o'clock, and I'm going, there's no way I'm going to be able to sleep at 9 o'clock. So I tossed and turned from 9 until about 2:30. And then they wanted me out of there by 6, so it was it was very difficult for me. But, even with only that much sleep, Kimmy, I was fine. Had a couple of coffees, got my head in the right space, and then drove back. So it's all in your mind, how tired you're going to be and how well you can do it, right? And you can do this, Kimmy. You've done so much else. You can choose to make it hard or not, right? And listen to this quote from Les Brown. He said, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. Yes, exactly, Kimmy. You're right. If you're feeling tired, pull over and have a quick nap in the car. Absolutely. Lock the doors first. I don't know about your stuff. So your nearest hospital is an hour away, or is that the nearest one that does sleep study? And Les Brown, very famous quote of his, said, "Shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll still be among the stars." Oh, anybody have any thoughts or not about Bill Cosby getting released from jail? I thought maybe we should talk about that. If anybody's got any issue with that, then let's talk about it. The reason is because, do you understand why? I just want to make sure you understand. They didn't say he wasn't guilty. It was on a point of law that they had to call it a mistrial. It was not that they didn't think he was guilty. It was a point of law that caused the problem. So I must admit, I shook my head in absolute disbelief when I heard he was getting released. It was just like, wow. But you got to say something. His lawyer did his job. That's the lawyer's job, is to get him out, and he did. How long was he in? 3 years? So, it was just like, the question, unfortunately, is the point of law on which they cleared him prevents him from being retried, I believe. In other words, the 25 or 50 other people that accused him will not be able to take him to court on this point of law. So, that means he's not going back for that reason. So I don't know, that part of me goes, there's one person he's still got to talk to. That's his maker. And I have a feeling that discussion will be quite interesting. He may think that he got away with it, but, I don't think so. I have very strong feelings about any man who drugs women and then has his way with them. It's just like that. I don't care who you are. That is no way to treat women. And yet men did, didn't they? So for so long. And, the fact that the prosecution made that error and now he cannot be retried is just like, wow, then I have to believe there is a God and that will be sorted out later. And, I pray for all the victims because they must be so angry. And yet being angry is not going to fix it. How about this one? To be successful, you must be willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow that others will not have. And Judy, I keep thinking, I wonder how many people would go through the diet that you've been through, in order to be able to have, this operation done. Yeah, that's incredible amount of discipline and planning and hard work on your part and budgeting. And I think of all the different things that come into play for you. And, you deserve to have this go well. And I pray that it does. I really do. I pray that it does go well for you. And that you get the reward that you so justly deserve. That's the important thing. Oh, so you'll be going back to the same hospital for your cardio appointment? Yeah, I've got a feeling I'm going to end up with the cardio people as well, Kimmy, with some things that are happening to me. So, yeah, I know that problem. So I didn't know that you were having cardio problems. So, you look at it and you say, every single one of us is facing our own next steps, whatever they are. I know that we all are walking different paths, but the funny thing is, it's amazing how we are all walking our own paths together. And to me, that is the greatest joy of it. Is that we each are traveling our own journey, and yet all the lessons that Kim learns, we learn, and all the lessons that Jody is learning, we learn, and then all the lessons that I have learned, I share hopefully enough that you learn. And so to me, this is why we're here, to learn from each other. And it's not that any one of us is doing better than the next. It is just we're all doing the best we can with our own individual journeys. And some journeys are easier for some people than for others. And what is easy for one person can be an absolute nightmare for another. And so what I would encourage you to do, and I will talk about this every week, which is be aware of the excuses. I was trying to work out, why didn't I have enough time to play? Why didn't I have enough time to play? I really wanted to be creative this last week. And I went, because I'm not allowing myself time to play. Does that make sense to anybody? I wasn't giving myself permission. Why? Well, because I'm too busy unpacking. Why? Because I'm too busy dealing with this. And the answer was, I was too busy to take time to just play and create and make mistakes and learn something new. And, it was just like, I'm going to, this, my new thing is part of my new habit. Remember, nothing changes unless you change the habits. So my new habit is I sit down in the morning and I do what I need to do. I have one or two things in the day now that I have to do, and the rest, I don't have to do it. And if I want to spend 2 hours playing, I can. I don't know that I'm going to be here next week, right? I don't know. It's like, I am not going to do this to myself. I am going to start playing, and I'm going to start working on Christmas so that that's not stressful for me this year. And what I'm going to do is start, doing things like painting the boxes and make sure I know that this box is for so-and-so and this box is for somebody else. And literally, as I get the bits, start wrapping them up and putting them in the box. How many of you keep your tissue paper? I got quite a collection of tissue paper, I must say. So I'm going to be doing that. I also keep my coffee tins. Hang on a second. I just take the labels off them. And if you notice, if you take the label off, there's silver underneath, which is fine for Christmas. And what I will do is, this will probably end up with some cookies in it and, a couple of other things. And then I will wrap a really pretty ribbon. I might even paint the top red for Christmas, but put a really nice ribbon on it. And there you go, instant gift. And reuse, recycle. I think I've got about 3 of them at the moment. Mind you, I use them pretty quickly. Okay, everybody, so I hope you found this interesting. And Kimmy, all the best with the sleep study. Jody, continue the good work. And yes, you keep your bags, the Christmas bags. Yes, I do too. They're in the shed somewhere. And it was so funny because I was over at the neighbor's house that very hot day, or the day after it, in fact, and we were playing cards, and they had a card shuffling machine, and it was broken. You had to sort of hold it 3 ways to Sunday to get it to shuffle. I came home and I immediately ordered them a new one. And they said, "Why did you do that?" And I said, "Because now that we know we all play cards, I know this winter we're going to spend a lot of time playing cards. Therefore, we better get a machine that works." They just laughed at me and said, "You're right." But you know what we did the day after the very hot day, when it was still pretty hot? I found out that Betty Ann had a margarita making machine. I said, "Well, that's good. I've got tequila and triple sec. So we are going to go and pretend we can see beaches and blue water because it's hot enough for that. And if we were at a beach at this temperature, looking at blue water and sitting on the beach, we'd be drinking margaritas. So why don't we do that anyway?" And we did. And we spent about 6 hours playing cards. We were pathetic. We only managed about 1.5 margaritas, but we did enjoy the shaved ice after that. But we never did finish the whole jug of margarita mix. But again, if the world gives you a lemon, turn it into lemonade. So here's the thing. Make your life happy if you can. And if you choose to, because it's all about how we see it. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, remember that coping with life is a major skill. A major skill. And most of you have got it now. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, have a great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. Thanks for your help, Jody, and all of you for being here. Bye-bye for now.